Good evening to all and welcome to the session, the Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. Today's editorial is all about the release of the former naval officers and not very difficult to comprehend. There are some important words. Let us start the session with editorial vocabulary. What is the first word, an important word we have got for the first time? Brinkmanship. Here there's every possibility to think the word is, am I audible? The word is brickmanship. No, it is not brickmanship. What is the word here? Brinkmanship. You got to be careful with spelling. There's every possibility, potential for this one to come in misspelled words. Very important. Has it started? Is it live? Give me a second. It is on. Brinkmanship, what does it mean? The art of pushing a dangerous situation or confrontation to the limit of safety, especially to force a desired outcome. Thank you. Thanks for the response. Not easy to understand basically what it means. It goes with politics. In politics, you say that you want something, and you also say that if you don't get what you want, you will do something that is going to be dangerous. That's what it means. Brinkmanship. Basically, it is a negative word, it has negative connotation. What is the second word we have here? Espionage. I'm sure you all know this word. We have got many a time. Goes with effective English, part of speech noun. But everyday English, what do we say? Spying. The practice of spying or of using spies. Everyday English, spying. Effective English, espionage. An important word. Third one, sparse. Even we got this also many a time. Part of speech, adjective. What does it mean? Scanty, in short supply. Scanty, you should also think of the word dearth. There's no dearth of information. Means what? There is no shortage of information. Today you take YouTube or so many sites, so much information. There's no dearth of information, important combination, but here scanty. Usually, scanty goes with clothes, but in this context, it goes with information. Invoke, we have got many a time, part of speech verb. It goes with a religion, it also goes with law. In the context, when it comes to religion, invoke gods or invoke deities. But in this context, invoke part of speech verb to use a law in order to achieve something. When a particular government uses law to achieve something, then we say invoke the law. An important word we have got a few times. Upheld. This is in the past. What is the actual word here? Uphold. Uphold, upheld, upheld. Ah, very good. See, you guys have been responding. I would like to tell something. You will be very happy. Some of the students have been giving the feedback, and usually we have about 10 students. They keep immediately they respond synonyms, related words, rules, all that. They're really surprised. They find it amazing. I usually say the way you respond within no time, and so many words you come up with. That is definitely highly appreciable. Now, you guys also have admirers, not only the master, you have others also. So many people they find it amazing and mind blowing. Do keep doing that. Very good. Uphold, upheld, stand up for, stick up for. But generally, this is a legal term. Uphold means what? A lower court, higher court. A lower court gives a judgment. The higher court also says the same thing. Then we say the higher court upheld the judgment of the lower court. Support, exactly. Support, sustain, validate, ratify, verify. That's really good. Counsel, part of speech noun, a barrister, or other legal advisor conducting a case. In this part of the world, we use lawyer, but different countries, different terms. If you go to the US, they don't use the word lawyer, they use the word attorney. And if you go to the UK in the past, as far as my knowledge goes, in my opinion, barrister. But now the word lawyer has become quite popular. And in our country, we always use the word lawyer, barrister, attorney, important words. And what is the other word? Counsel. Counsel also used in the US. Attribute, we have got this word many a time, and part of speech, a verb. Generally, what happens now, you're preparing for competitive exams. Down the line, 6 months or 1 year, you'll get a job. And once you get the job, imagine you took coaching in some institute, they organize a success meet, and they call you onto the stage, they ask you to speak. Then you say, I attribute my success to my parents. Attribute means what? Regard something as being caused by. Attribute means to give the credit to someone. You attribute your success to your parents. What does it mean? You give the credit to your parents. We have got this many a time. Pursue, part of speech verb, and follow or chase. Someone is not advisable at this stage. Something. What is that something? Your dreams, your goals, pursue, and also studies. We also use studies. Yes, somebody, one day or other, you have to do that. Sparring, spar is a verb, sparring, ing form, but got to be careful with spelling. To argue, spar means what? Argue publicly, argue with someone. Rhetoric, we have got so many times. I'm sure our students will be able to answer. Part of speech noun, the art of effective or persuasive speaking or writing. Usually it goes with public speaking. The politicians, political leaders, they try to use very nice language to persuade masses. That is known as rhetoric. Heft, I think we have got for the first time hefty, that is adjective form. Heft, part of speech noun, the weight of someone or something. But in this context, what does it mean? Influence, influence of someone or something. Rhetoric speech, very good. Keep doing it. I really appreciate. Interlocutor, we have got for the first time part of speech noun. A person who takes part in a dialogue or conversation. That means someone like a middleman when it comes to negotiations. A person, in this context, it is a country. The country is Qatar. A person who takes part in a dialogue or conversation, it could be a person, it could be a country. Aftermath, we have got a few times. Part of speech noun. The consequences or after effects of a significant unpleasant event. Imagine something negative happened. After that, the consequences or after effects, we use the word aftermath. We have got many a time. Grandiloquence, who is this? Naidu Paidi. We got about 14 words, but many of these words are familiar. We have got many a time. Only a few words are new words. You have to spend your time on those words, make your own examples, and practice. Only then you will be able to remember. Now, let us go to the editorial. Start the session with the question, what is this editorial about? This editorial is about the release of 8 former Indian naval personnel from Qatar. It's all about the release of 8 former Indian naval personnel from Qatar. What is the tone of the editorial? In the release of these 8 former naval personnel, Indian government played a crucial role, and the Prime Minister personally took interest and played a vital role. Based on that, I think for the first time we have come across an editorial using positive terms and appreciating the Prime Minister, the government. The tone of the editorial appears to be positive and appreciative. All positive words, all praising, positive and appreciative, and deserving, obviously. How does it start? Homeward, homeward bound. Here, homeward. You can also think of the word homebound. You can say that also. But homeward means towards the home, bound, likely to reach. Homebound. But in this context, I would like to ask a question. What is the difference between home and house? I'm sure many of our students will be able to answer this question. Home and house, what is the difference? I'll wait for a few seconds. If you don't respond, I will tell the difference. Home and house. I'm sure you guys can tell the difference. Leaps and bounds. Who is this? Anusha. Increase rapidly. For what? Based on bound. Okay. Good. You're recollecting a related idiom. Now I see a few students have responded. Home means the place, whatever the place where you live with your family, the place where you live with your family. Wherever you live with your family, that's your home. That could be a cave, that could be a tile house, a mud house, a hut, a mansion, a bungalow, a palace, anything, a flat, an apartment. Once you're with your family, that's your home. House is only a structure. It is only a structure. Homeward bound or homebound, both could be used on the release of the 8 former Indian naval personnel from Qatar. As I said, it's all about that. But what is the main idea of this editorial? Quiet diplomacy without brinkmanship helped India's case in Qatar. What is positive here? Quiet diplomacy without brinkmanship, a negative word, helped India's case in Qatar. Again, you have to focus on two words here. One is quiet. There are two words you have to recollect. One is quiet. Answer my question, which part of mother is housewife? And I do again a question out of the framework. Quiet, calm, part of speech, adjective. Standard English, housewife, nowadays people are using homemaker. Calm, quiet, serene, placid, tranquil. All these words you have to recollect. What is the other word that results in confusion? Quiet, quiet, adjective. Quiet can be adjective, can be adverb. Example, quite big means what? Very big. Quite means very. Quite interesting, very interesting. Quiet diplomacy without brinkmanship helped India's case in Qatar. Answer my question, why is the word help important? In English, after a long time we have got this. In English, we have causative verbs. What are they called? Causative verbs. There are 3 or 4, but I usually tell 2 because I've been touching those 2. One is a help, the other one is a make. So, what is so special about these causative verbs? These causative verbs, especially you have to remember help, make, they do not take to in active voice, but they do take to in passive voice. The master made us to wait, right or wrong? The master made us to wait, wrong, because it is active voice. We were made to wait by the master. This is right, passive voice. You can write those also, Venkatesh Rama. I was expecting help, make, let. Generally, I tell students to remember make and help. Now, going to the editorial, the release of all 8 former Indian naval personnel from Qatar just about 3 months after they were ordered a shocking death sentence is a matter of great relief. Wrong. Here, an important sentence. Usually in the exam, they take this could be a potential question in the exam. What is the reason? First reason, a lengthy sentence. Second reason, the subject is away from the verb. In between the subject and the verb, we have a few phrases. Here, the release, that is a subject. Of all 8 former Indian naval personnel from Qatar, just about 3 months after they were ordered a shocking death sentence, one phrase, one clause, you have to put them in brackets. They have been used to add more information. But here, subject verb agreement, release are or is. In the exam, they may change the verb form. The release is a matter of great relief. The release of who are the people have been released. 8 former Indian naval personnel from Qatar, and about 3 months after they were ordered a shocking death sentence. Death sentence, what is the other word, other expression for death sentence? Please answer my question. Death sentence, you have to think of something else. Same meaning. What is it? Capital punishment. What is it? Capital punishment. This is an important topic. Now it is in the limelight, and you may get it as a passage in the exam, either in prelims or mains. Because in many Western countries, capital punishment has been banned. But in our country, it is still there. Now, a few intellectuals, the intellectuals of the country, for that there is one word, intelligentsia. They have been demanding it does not serve the actual purpose. It cannot be a deterrent. Deterrent means something that stops something from happening. It cannot be a deterrent. So we have to abolish capital punishment. We have to resort to reforms. Based on that, it is in the limelight right now. You may get as a passage. The release, what is the sentence about? The release of those naval personnel from Qatar is a matter of great relief. Ever since, again, whenever you come across since and for, already you guys know. If you take here, we have ever since. But generally, what are the two prepositions you have to recollect? Since for. Since goes with specific time, and for goes with time period. I'm sure you all know this. Ever since also same thing. And when we use these, the tense, if at all there is a clause, the clause should be in past tense. But whenever we use ever since, per, the main idea should be in present perfect tense. Let us have a look at the sentence. Ever since the 8 men, who are these 8 men? 7 senior retired naval officers and a sailor who worked for the Qatar-based Dahra Technologies were arrested in 2022. Here you have to put this in brackets. Who worked for the Qatar-based Dohra Technologies, put it in brackets, were arrested. Ever since the 8 men were arrested in 2022. This is in past. The clause that goes with since or ever since should be in past. Ever since he got married, ever since he got a job, ever since they were arrested. This is in past passive voice. Then the main idea, the details of their case have been sparse. The details have been sparse. Again, we have a phrase here. Ever since the 8 men were arrested in 2022, the details have been sparse. Sparse means scanty. Ramesh, have you joined late? When I started the session, I gave the meanings of all these words. Scanty, lack of something. Here, details plural and have plural verb. What is the meaning of this? Ever since the 8 men were arrested, the details of their case have been sparse. Means the family or others, they do not have a lot of details. Sparse means scanty. Now, coming to the families of these personnel, while their families denied reports that the men had been accused of espionage, had been accused, this is a past perfect tense. Past perfect, not present perfect, passive voice. While their families denied reports that the men had been accused of espionage, possibly for a third country, namely Israel. What were the charges? What was the accusation? The accusation was the 8 men worked for a third party, third country. Which country is that? Israel. And accusation based on accusation of espionage, spying. The charges must have been serious enough to have invoked the death penalty. While is used as a contrasting word. While the families denied reports that the men had been accused of espionage, this particular thing, the families denied. Possibly for a third country, namely Israel, the charges must have been serious enough to have invoked use death penalty. This part, so much is there to learn. Here must have been. You have to recollect may have been plus verb past participle form. Might have been, this is in passive voice, so we have to use might have been, or it could be active voice plus verb. Passive voice, verb, past participle form. And what is the other one you have to recollect? Must have been. You should know clearly the differences. I will give a context, then you understand. Imagine there was a party. A lot of people came yesterday. I lost my watch, and I'm not quite sure who stole the watch. At the most, I can make a guess. Imagine I suspect the servant. I will say the servant may have stolen the watch, or the servant might have stolen the watch. Between the two, we prefer might because it goes into the past. What is a function? We use might have or may have plus verb past participle form to express the past possibility, which is a guess. Something happened in the past. For that, there was a possibility, and you make a guess. When you're not sure, you use this, either this or this. And what is a function of must have? It is used to express past. It is used to make a deduction about the past. Must have used to make a deduction about the past. Imagine yesterday again, there was a party, only one person came, I lost the watch. Then I don't have to, let me complete this. Then I don't have to think of guessing. I can make a deduction. Only one person came, I lost the watch. Then I say, that person must have stolen the watch. Could have talks about past possibility. There was a possibility for something to happen, but did not happen. But here I cannot teach all those things. These three are related, so have touched. Then I have to teach could have been, should have been. It takes a lot of time. Anyhow, the family denied accusation based on espionage, and the editorial says there must have been serious reason. That's why they got death penalty, and must have been, I've just explained, serious enough. Why is this important? Answer my question. In this context, the word enough, which part of speech is it? Please answer this. Pilferage, steal in small quantities, good. Related word. Exactly, Ganesh. Past possibility but did not happen. Good, Venkatesh Rama. You guys remember. Answer my question, which part of speech is enough? In this pattern, enough is adverb. As an adverb, the word enough comes after an adjective. This is something important because the word enough can be an adjective, can be an adverb. As an adjective, not that important. For example, he has enough time. Here, time is noun, enough is adjective. They don't ask in the exam. But common error, people tend to say she is enough intelligent to solve the problem. Answer my question, is this sentence right or wrong? She is enough intelligent to solve the problem. No, enough is not adjective, adverb, not noun. She is enough intelligent, right or wrong? It is wrong. Why is it wrong? Here you cannot say she is enough intelligent. You have to say she is intelligent enough. What is it? Intelligent enough. Then it is an adverb. Good. An appeals court did in December commute. Here, in December refers to time. But how to read this sentence? An appeals court did commute. Now, students ask me, so what is the difference between I like something, I do like something, I I like something casual, I do like something emphatic, I met him casual, I did meet him emphatic. Same pattern here. The sentence could have been an appeals court commuted the death penalty. Commute means to change. But for emphasis, the writer has used an appeals court did commute the death penalty to imprisonment terms, but upheld the conviction. Appeals court did something. It commuted. Here in this context, commute means to change death penalty to imprisonment terms, but at the same time upheld the conviction. I think not with you guys. We got the word conviction many a time. I always tell you have to recollect. All the four words should be at your fingertips. What are the four words? One is innocent. A person is innocent, the person is acquitted. The other one, guilty. A person is guilty, the person is convicted. And conviction, noun form. Convict, I'll write here. Convict, verb. Convict, same spelling, you have to say convict. Noun form, convict. Verb form, convict. Guilty. All these we have got so many times. It is to the government's credit that it was able to bring about the release of all the eight, seven of whom have now returned. Now the editorial praises the efforts of the government. An appeals court did commute the death penalty to imprisonment terms, but upheld the conviction. That is one point. Eventually, what happened? It is to the credit, it is to the government's credit that it was able to bring about the release of all the eight, seven of whom have now returned. Here it talks about the credit goes to the government. Plaintiff is the person who files a case. Very good. It is to the government's credit that it was able to bring about the release of all the eight, seven of whom have now returned. Return is important because it goes with redundancy. Usually people say return back. Answer my question, is this right or wrong? He returned back from Delhi yesterday. Is that right or wrong? But yet, however, though, although, even though, despite, in spite of, contrasting words. Very good. I appreciate. Anusha. Wrong. Why is it wrong? Return means to come back. Then you cannot say return back. That is a redundancy or superfluous. Like spell out in detail. Ah, very good. Who is this? Oh, Tripura Sundari after a long time. Spell out in detail. Spell out means to say something in detail. So you cannot say, please spell out that in detail. That's a common error, not correct. And goes with redundancy. Credit goes to the government and the reasons behind. Now you see the editor gives us information about the reasons. The success seems attributable to the strategies New Delhi employed. The Indian government employed certain strategies. Because of those strategies, we got the success. We could release the eight men. What are those strategies? There are three or four points. And here you have colon. When we want to come up with a list, we use colon. And after related ones, then we use list is very long. We use semicolon. First one, to pursue the case in court, showing respect to the Qatari legal system, at the same time, while providing the accused with full legal support and counsel. They took the legal path, one strategy. Second strategy, avoid all escalatory rhetoric and public sparring. They avoided. Escalatory means they're taking up rhetoric. And they also avoided public sparring. Public sparring. Spar means what? Argue. Second strategy. Third strategy, and to take the case to the highest levels. What are those highest levels? With Prime Minister Narendra Modi discussing it with the Qatari Amir Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani during a meet in Dubai in December. The third strategy. But there's one important word here, discuss. When it comes to certain verbs, people make a mistake. What is that mistake? After certain verbs, we should not use any preposition. And here, based on this, we are discussing about politics, right or wrong? Wrong. Second one, we have ordered for coffee, wrong. Third one, they have informed to the students, wrong. Fourth one, they have stressed on 2 points. No, they have stressed 2 points. All these you have to recollect. Very important. They have given in many competitive exams. That Mr. Modi announced an unscheduled leg of travel to Doha on Wednesday after his ongoing trip to the United Arab Emirates signifies his personal involvement and his desire to thank the Qatari Amir. Right now, he's on a tour, an unscheduled leg of travel to Doha on Wednesday. That Mr. Modi announced an unscheduled leg of travel to Doha on Wednesday. I think this was written last night based on that on Wednesday. After his ongoing trip to the United Arab Emirates, ongoing trip to the United Arab Emirates, it signifies something. What does it signify? His personal involvement and his desire to thank Qatari Amir. Significance, importance, crucial, critical, pivotal, consequential, phenomenal, remarkable, wonderful. And Tripura Sundari has come up with the UAE. What are the other countries you have to remember? The Netherlands. Before the names of countries, we should not use the. But English has rules, English has exceptions. What are the exceptions? The Netherlands, the Irish Republic. Important ones I'm writing. The Philippines. Everyone knows the US, UK, they don't ask in the exam, but still you have to recollect. The UAE, based on the editorial. That is being a smart learner. Very good, I appreciate. The Qatar case is a timely reminder of the importance of quiet diplomacy at a time of brinkmanship and geopolitical conflict. Right now, many countries are resorting to brinkmanship and geopolitical conflict. At this juncture, in the present scenario, India has resorted to quiet diplomacy. That is something highly appreciable. The Qatar case is a timely reminder of the importance of quiet diplomacy at a time of brinkmanship and geopolitical conflict, particularly when it comes to relationships where so much else is at stake. Imagine there are two countries, they depend on each other, and because of some issue, there's a deadlock that is not good for both the countries. That's what it says. Particularly when it comes to relationships where so much else is at stake. Now, at stake, something is important and it is going to get affected. Then we say it is at stake. Crows are at stake. His business is at stake. Important, at risk. Very good. And what is that? How do they depend on each other? India and Qatar. The editorial provides information. For India, how is Qatar important? Qatar is an important West Asian power with increased heft, weightage, influence during the Israel Gaza conflict as an important interlocutor between the West and Hamas. For Qatar, how India is important. Ties with India are historic and dependable, consistent even when the Qatar was boycotted by its Gulf neighbors some years ago. So they have been maintaining a very good rapport with each other. Qatar supplies, again to substantiate how they depend on each other, Qatar supplies India with a third of its natural gas import needs. And the signing of a 78 billion US dollar LNG deal last week may have been an early sign that the deal for the prisoners' release had been sealed by then. Here had been sealed, past perfect tense, passive voice. Why should we use a past perfect here? The first action, this one. Second action, signing a deal. Based on that, past perfect has been used, but it is in passive voice. Ah, very good, Tripura Sundari. The definite article there. I usually teach about 40 rules related to the definite article there. How many rules? 40 rules. You have written a few. I appreciate that. This sentence talks about the interdependence of the two countries. And there's one important word here I told last time also. Whenever a particular plural noun ends in the letter S, we have to use the apostrophe after the letter S. Last time also I gave boys hostel. Answer my question, is this right or wrong? Boys hostel. Hostel belongs to many boys. If you write this way, it means it belongs to one boy. So what is a noun here? Plural noun, boys. It ends in the letter S. Then we have to use the apostrophe after the letter S. Boys hostel. That's a common error. Still, to substantiate, more than 8 lakh Indians provide important services to Qatar and bring in critical remittance earnings for India. That's a good thing for the country. Forex. New Delhi's decision not to seek international intervention. Usually, what countries do, what is this brinkmanship? They use it, they demand international intervention. They may also use a force, but India did not do that. They may try to go in for a conflict, confrontation. India did not do any of these. New Delhi's decision not to seek international intervention, as it did in the past. This time it has not done. As it did in the case of former naval commander Kulbhushan Jadhav, who has been convicted of espionage and terror charges in Pakistan. One example, the regular thing India did not do. Second, nor to counter Qatar's charges with the kind of harsh diplomatic countermeasures seen in the aftermath of the Niger assassination case in Canada. When Canada accused India of Niger assassination, India resorted to diplomatic countermeasures. You all remember I did one editorial. This time it has not done anything like that. It was not at all harsh. That time Indian government was very harsh. And it also resorted to diplomatic countermeasures. Eventually provided an outcome satisfactory for all. Because India did not resort to any of these, it has resorted to quiet diplomacy, eventually provided an outcome, a solution satisfactory for all. Wonderful. A positive editorial. Based on what you have just listened to check your listening skill, comprehension skill, 5 questions, comprehension skill. The focus is more on that. First one, what is the primary reason for the relief expressed in the editorial? Assassination, murder of a leader, an individual. Oh, Durga Rao, you are here. I'm smiling. I'm sure you will understand why I'm smiling. Beyond that, I will not do anything. Jackie Durga Rao. What is the primary reason for the relief expressed in the editorial? Successful execution of a military operation, a resolution of a diplomatic crisis. Hold this one. Economic development in India, expansion of Qatar's natural gas supply. So, what is the answer? Oh, you got it. Good. I'll make you happy soon. Till that time, you can be away, no problem. A resolution of a diplomatic crisis. According to the editorial, how did the Indian government handle the case of the 8 former naval personnel in Qatar? Oh, Anusha has come up with all Nouns of Latin and Greek origin, singular, plural, crisis, crisis, analysis, analysis, criterion, criteria, phenomenon, phenomena, memorandum, memoranda, spectrum, spectra, medium, either media or mediums, good, radius, radii, index, indices, datum, data, very good. A lot of value addition. Have you guys answered? Question number 2. Through aggressive rhetoric, no. International intervention, no. Pursuing the case in court with respect for the Qatari legal system. And now Divya has come up. What is this? Same words, Divya, no. All of you have a look. Unfortunately, in the past, after the session, after some time, you would have access to live chat. Now I think that is not there. So I request you guys during the live session, please have a look at the comments of other students. A lot of students have been doing value addition. I'm sure you will get benefited in the long run. Question number 3. What is emphasized as a successful strategy employed by India in dealing with the Qatar case? What is emphasized as a successful strategy? Publicly criticizing can never be a successful strategy. Escalating the situation with harsh diplomatic countermeasures, something positive we need. Quiet diplomacy, at the same time avoiding brinkmanship. Boycotting Qatar's natural gas supply. No. What role did Prime Minister Narendra Modi play in the resolution of the Qatar case as mentioned in the editorial? Ignored the issue entirely? No. Personally involved and engaged in diplomatic discussions? Hold this one. Issued aggressive statements? No, not at all. Escalate, surge, spike, hike, rise, mount. Wonderful. Sought international intervention. So, what is the answer? The Prime Minister personally involved and engaged in diplomatic discussions. According to the editorial, what did the appeals court do? What did the appeals court do in December regarding the death penalty? This is a good question. Upheld the death penalty, commuted the death penalty to imprisonment terms, acquitted the individuals, increased the severity of the punishment. No, no, it did not upheld the death penalty. It is not A. No, no, no. Answer is B. What is B here? Commuted. In this context, commute means what? To change. But generally, commute means what? Travel long distance for work every day. Commuters, noun form. But here, commute means change something. What did the appeals court change? The death penalty to imprisonment terms. Answer is B. I could not do the editorial Monday, Tuesday. I'm working on something very big, this particular channel. And wait for 1 or 2 days, you will come to know. You will be very happy. I'm going to come up with something very big for this channel, my channel. I haven't done it for quite some time. Now I feel I have to do it because this is 2024. You are going to get benefited immensely. Wait with your fingers crossed. Still, because I did not do, you have to, it all depends on your vocabulary. Many words are familiar words. Try to get at least 10 correct. You should be happy. These are the words from yesterday's editorial, but on my platform, I did not do. My channel, I did not do. I did some other channel. Turmoil, we have got so many times, you will be able to. Uh, Political turmoil means what? Chaos, disturbance, and part of speech, noun. What is the typical combination? Political turmoil. We have got many a time. Subversion, noun form. Subvert, verb. It's a regular verb. Okay. Okay, Ramesh Naidu. Subvert means undermine, weaken. Wonderful. Sabotage, you have to recollect that word as well. And mandate, mandatory, compulsory. That's one meaning. But here, mandate, mandatory. Here, mandate is a verb. It has a different meaning altogether based on the editorial. Tell me, what does it mean, mandate? It is related to elections. The mandate given by the people of the state. No, no, not based on the editorial, Haripriya, that is not the meaning. Based on the editorial context, mandate given by the people at the time of the elections means what? A particular party gets a majority. That then we say the mandate was in favor of that particular party. Giving the right authorization right to represent someone. Conviction, you all know we have got so many times. Part of speech, noun. Bar can be a noun, can be a verb. In the context of the editorial, Lakshman, very good. Authorization. Bar, as a noun, you don't have to tell. As a verb, what does it mean? They have been barred. Means what? Conviction, convicted, to get punished. Slaughter, okay. Slaughterhouse, that goes with a different thing. Ban, that is a word. You have to. Prohibit, ban, very good. Go to the next one, defect. Defect can be a noun, defect can be a verb. Defect as a noun means a flaw, mistake. But as a verb, based on the editorial, it goes with politics, elections, and defection from one party to another party. Defect means a moving or jumping from one party to another party. A run-up takes a preposition. No, context is different. Bard, Pandu, Bard goes more with a particular company, a particular organization, a particular leader. But debarred goes with students. He has been debarred from the college. Usage is entirely different. Combination is also different. Run up takes a preposition to. Flaw, infallible, mistake. Good, Venkatesh Rama. I appreciate that. Answer, run up to means what? The time period before a major event. The period before a major event. The time period. Nemesis, an important word. What is the meaning of the word nemesis? Part of speech. Run up is a noun, not a phrasal verb, mind you. What happened? No, I don't see your response per run up. Run up, we have got many a time. Exams time, yes, Haripriya, you're right. Debar, for malpractices, copying, all those. Nemesis, someone or something responsible for the downfall of someone else. No, no, nemesis means imagine there is a leader, there is a celebrity. He is quite popular, but because of one person or because of one thing, his downfall happens. The someone or something responsible for the downfall of a particular person. Then we say nemesis, an important word. Hmm. Please remember, they have given a few times. Someone or something responsible for the downfall of someone else. Exile, easy word. That also means the same, prohibit, prevent someone from, send someone away from the country, and be away from the country, exile. Catapult, we have got last week, this week, we have got twice or thrice. Throw someone or something with a lot of force. With a lot of force, you throw someone or something, catapult. You understood. Okay, exactly. Ramesh Naidu, very good. Someone or something responsible for the downfall of a particular person, usually a leader, a celebrity. Exile can be a noun, can be a verb. Catapult, verb. Leverage, we have got a few times. Leverage means what? Part of speech. It can be a verb, it can be a noun. This you should answer because we have got many a time. Leverage means to use something to the maximum advantage. To use something to the maximum advantage. You can also use who is this? Anu says profitable, lucrative, harness, proliferate, related words. Naidu Paidi to get maximum advantage of something. That's what we say. Prevail is a verb. Prevailing situation, existing situation. But that is one meaning. In the context of the editorial, prevail means to be superior, to dominate, and make something happen. Prevail upon someone means to make that person do whatever you want to do. Coalition goes with government, and coalition, government, that means which part of speech is it? Adjective. Superior, yes, Lakshman. That is the right word. Good, very good. I appreciate those who have responded. Wonderful. And I think you have got almost all correct, except the word nemesis. That means is an important word. And other words you could answer. That's really good. That's all for today. I would like to reiterate I'm working on something very big for this channel, and that will happen in 1 or 2 days on a large scale. So wait with your fingers crossed. And that's the reason why I could not take on Monday, yesterday, but I'll be regular. But a lot of changes you're going to see. And all those things will be useful for you people for the year 2024 to get the job beyond any doubt. I am very confident about that. Thanks for being with me. Do remember to subscribe and share. I will see you guys tomorrow. Good night to all of you.